The history of Triumph motor cars is a history packed with success in motorsport. Triumphs have been raced and rallied all over the world since the very first days of the marque, and today is no different from the great moments of the past. For today at Abingdon on the banks of the sleepy River Thames, BL's Special Tuning Division, once a home for the great European rally-winning Healey's and the diminutive but potent Minis which followed them, is now home for Britain's most powerful rally cars, the 3.5-litre V8-engined Triumph TR7s. The arrival of one of Britain's premier sports cars onto a rallying stage dominated for years by Ford has kindled tremendous interest both at home and overseas. The squat, low-slung machines in their patriotic red, white and blue livery have, in the short space of 2 years, been developed into a powerful force as tarmac rally cars. The car's handling on asphalt surfaces has proved to be its forte. And in June last year, Tony Pond shook the European rally world at the historic battleground of Ypres in Belgium. The 24 Hours of Ypres is a vital European Championship classic which attracts leading competitors each year.
How's practice gone for you?
Very well. I think we've learned quite a lot about the car and we've sorted it out. We hope it copes all right on the night now.
How do you like this sort of place note rallying?
Yeah, I like it very much. The practice is a bit tedious and we've done about 10 nights of it, from 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the morning. So I think we've done a few rallies before we start.
On his second visit to the rally in consecutive years, Tony Pond leads away the 178 starters from the town centre. Once out in the country, Tony gives the powerful British sports car its head as he breaks away from the leading bunch to dominate the rally right from the start. On the absolute limit of his braking, Pond's style is still smooth and neat as his adherence to racing lines makes the most of the car's ability for rapid changes of direction. At the first service point, the Triumph's lead is already well established as the car receives routine maintenance.
Is your plan to do a blinder and get away from everybody?
No, we're taking it easy. We're going to do a blinder later.
What do you want to do again, Tone?
Just perhaps it's falling our way, but the night might change that. You never can tell in this game, can you? 1 minute you're all on top, and the next minute it's all going wrong. Usually when it turns dark.
Which is fairly safe.
Yeah. I'm frightened of the dark.
How far ahead are you?
Well, I don't know at the moment, but after 3 stages we were 25 seconds ahead of Carrillo and another 2 seconds ahead of Stapler on top of that. So it was getting on for about 10 seconds a stage, and hopefully we've kept it since then.
You've obviously had no problems at all?
No, nothing really. It's going quite nicely. We thought we were going fairly slowly, actually, playing ourselves in, but it seems that we're going a lot quicker than everybody else. Don't quite know why.
Of course, these days, diplomacy is very much a part of a co-driver's essential qualities, and Fred Gallagher is no exception. But one thing is certain, no one, not even the Belgian champion Gilbert Stapler, nor Italian rising star Tony Carrillo, have an answer to the Triumph's speed as it romps away through the night towards a comfortable lead at the end of the first leg of the rally, back amid the noisy bustle of Ypres Town Square.
So what's the situation?
Well, it seems that we're a minute and 12 seconds ahead of Stapler at the moment, just seeing this that I've just got. So we're quite happy with that. I think we can afford to lift off a little bit now. There have been 2 secret stages thrown in tonight, which nobody has practiced, and they've suited us quite well actually because, well, being British, we're used to that in the forests. I think the Italians and so on have found us a bit of a problem.
Had you no idea at all that we were going to have those?
Well, we heard there were going to be secret stages. We didn't really know where they were going to be, but it was a bit of fun.
So, and after that, you're going to do it again now?
Yeah, we're going to do exactly the same thing again, another 4 hours.
And then what happens tomorrow?
Tomorrow we do a different route with selective sections and so on. We do that 3 times, so it's certainly going to be tougher tomorrow night. But I think if we can pull another minute in the next lap, then we can play it fairly gently tomorrow.
So when we last saw you, you were leading last night after the first lap.
Yeah.
What happened after that?
Well, we just seem to get a little bit more in the lead, so I think we're about 1:30. We should be 2 minutes in the lead, but I think Mark got a penalty for something.
Why?
Perhaps jumping a start or something. They seem to be dishing them out quite regularly.
What happens now?
The race around the house.
TR7 is now poised to snatch victory on this tough Europe secret tests, tarmac and gravel. With 2 laps still to complete, routine service for the Triumph back in Ypres is hurried but drama-free. Pond has been driving only to preserve his lead. Co-driver Gallagher discusses their position with BL Motorsports development engineer David Wood.
2 minutes up there. 2:43. How far? 2 minutes 43.
How does it feel like to have 2 more laps to do yet?
Only 2, that's the way I look at it really. I mean, I suppose you can think, oh, I've got 2 to do, but just, we've got a nice lead now. It's just perhaps take it easy now and just settle back and let them catch us up. So there might be easy laps for us.
You said that last night, though.
Sorry?
You said that last night, and you're still keeping going.
Yeah, well, we've got a good lead now, and I think we should be coming out to sort of 3 minutes. Now's the time to play it easy.
Why have you dropped back running later down the field?
Because we didn't want the other cars, didn't want to go first down the selectives, so we caught the marshals unawares and they were messing the job up.
Well, it was purely intentional. I decided before the selective sections, which are effectively open road sections, but very, very difficult to do on time. And with passage controls, I decided that we should drop back to be about 4th or 5th car, so that at the road junctions, for example, people would be aware of us coming, and that the marshals at the passage controls would be aware that, you know, would know whereabouts in the car to stamp and so on. And there's no penalty for being late, up to 30 minutes. So I decided to use 5 minutes of that, and hope that they were all awake when we got there.
Very crafty, very crafty. Still maintaining your lead as far as you know?
Yeah, we pulled it out to about 2 minutes 48, I think, at the moment, over Tony Corello, who's now second with the Lancia Stratos.
He's come for a lot, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's about 6 seconds ahead of Steppeler, but I think we've pulled out 2 seconds on Corello on this lap, so it doesn't seem to be any problem at all. He's quite happy to finish second, he told me.
Are you slowing down a bit now then?
Yeah, we're trying to take it a little bit easier. But you can't really slow down too much. You start to lose concentration, you know, it all goes haywire, so you've got to keep pressing along. And we're setting a nice, happy pace.
How does it feel to have 2 more complete laps to do yet?
Well, I'd rather it was finished here, to be honest. It'd be quite nice to be at the end with 2:48, but, you know, the end is in sight, I suppose.
A great moment for Triumph and for Tony Pond as the TR7 noses through streets thronged with revellers and climbs the finish ramp. In the tough tarmac battleground of Europe, the V8 Triumph has proved itself at the first attempt, crushing the opposition with no less than 22 fastest stage times. For Tony and co-driver Fred Gallagher, 3 weeks' hard work is rewarded. Tony and Fred would like to have celebrated in the grand manner befitting such an occasion, but Coca-Cola? From the sunshine, laughter and euphoria of Belgium to the gloom, mist and damp of the Isle of Man in September, home of the Manx International, Britain's fastest rally of the year, run over twisting tarmac roads, made famous by generations of racing motorcyclists.
Tony, we're within minutes of the start of an absolutely vital rally to you, a rally which you led last year and a rally in which you're driving a new car this year. How do you feel about things?
Well, I felt very good until the weather changed to this, which is going to sort of throw the whole lot into a new perspective, really. There'll be standing water, puddles, fog, all kinds of things which you can't really practice for. It's a case of finding them, actually.
Now, you've had success in similar tarmac rallies in the V8. Is the Manx going to be the same sort of going?
No, we've had success in Ypres in Belgium, and that's very, very fast and mostly straight. And this is a very twisty, bumpy rally. The car's very suited to it. I'm quite optimistic if things go our way.
From the drop of the flag, Pond is driving as though his life depends on it, locked in a fierce battle for the lead with Finnish ace Hannu Mikkola in his Works Escort. The first service halt, nostalgically situated behind the TT Circuit's main grandstand. The situation is a tense one, and Tony relays the position to BL's motorsport director, John Davenport.
Yeah, because we just done an 18-mile or that very long stage, and it was perfect up until then. We came off the stage, started the next one, wouldn't go above 4,000.
Just vaporising in the thing, right.
Yeah.
You don't think it was a plug condition?
Sorry?
You don't think it was a plug
No,
condition?
no, I can't imagine it, no.
What it was, Tony, 6 stages completed and you're second. How's it going for you?
We're sort of just running in, really. I was a bit rusty over the first 3. Bit of a problem. Just not actually getting the limit of the corners. Very, very difficult when you've practiced at 40 and 50 mile an hour to suddenly make the same corner go at 80 and 90.
Yeah. Car was tremendously impressive round the course and seemed to be holding the road very well indeed. Have you had any troubles at all?
Not really. We're just sort of lifting the ride height now to sort the bumps out. It's a very difficult course because one minute you're going on motorway type roads, very high speed, and the next minute you're on big bumps and jumps.
What tyres did you start off on?
We started off on intermediates and then we went to dry rears. But the fronts were going off on that stage.
Where did you change?
We changed at the first service area.
And you lost no time doing that?
No, we lost no time. On the last stage, the front tyres were going off because they were of an intermediate compound.
Yeah, and what's happening now at this check as far as the car is concerned?
We're just going on to dries, lifting the front suspension and general check over.
And you're quite happy? Quite
yeah,
relaxed.
yes, frightened stiff.
Yeah. Have you
happy.
got plenty in reserve or not?
I would think we'll get quicker as we sort of get into it. Really.
Johnny, can you stick your brake for me a second?
Fred, the Manx is unique in being a pace notes rally. Now, what exactly does that mean as far as you as the navigator are concerned, and how do pace notes work?
Well, it means that we have been here for 2.5 weeks now, practicing the roads and writing the pace notes of the roads.
Yeah.
What we do effectively is grade the corners into about 9 different ratings, and then put in the crests, jumps, straights, any hazards that there are, and I read them back to Tony as we go along the stage.
Fred, one of the places we've been watching Tony and yourself today was at Starvey. Can you take us through that section from your pace notes and say the sort of things that you would be saying to Tony while you're doing it?
Yes, indeed. I think where we come into view actually was over this caution, slight right over jump, where we probably took to the air, and then we had and crest, twisty 70, left absolute, right absolute, and caution, turn right minus. That's where we turned. That's where we turned the sharp right-hand bend, and then we went into K left. The absolutes are corners that you take absolutely flat out, irrespective of the conditions. After that, we go down to flat, slight, fast, fast K and K.
And what would Tony actually be hearing through his headphones from your microphone?
Caution, slight right over jump and crest, twisty 70, left absolute, right absolute, and caution, turn right minus, and K left.
So there's a non-stop flood of commentary virtually from you to Tony the whole time.
Absolutely, and when you're doing maybe 110, 115 miles an hour, I'm reading just as quickly as I can to get the information out.
Can he talk back to you, or does he just sit there and absorb?
He can talk back to me, but really if he did, I don't think there'd be time for me to get the next instruction out, so he never says anything to me on the stage.
And do you get tired doing this, mentally tired?
No, it's unbelaivable how quickly the stages seem to pass when you're doing this. Things that whenever you're practicing maybe take you 20, 25 minutes, you're doing in 7 or 8 minutes. You're doing so much quicker.
Later on, there's a night stage coming up. Now,
Yes.
how does that affect your pace notes? How do you see them?
I have a map light inside the car, which obviously I've got to keep bright enough for me to be able to read it, but also dim enough that it doesn't dazzle Tony. So that makes it fairly difficult, and it's also more difficult to see the roads and the little landmarks that you use to pick up the features.
Yes. But a lot of it's already ingrained in your memory, of course, isn't it?
Well, it is, but you've got to keep going through the notes anyway so that you can pick up the next bit that isn't in your memory.
Yeah.
So all the time you've got to keep reading the notes, no matter how well you know it.
Their nearest rivals have already been left over 1 minute behind. So far, the honours have been in Mikkela's favour, just. But no sooner has the Friday night session begun, mode for a fast right-hander which follows. Suddenly, Tony Pond is on his own.
Tony, when last night did you find out that Hanu was out?
When we actually saw him beside the road. Yeah.
Right, and since then you've built up a quite incredible 2 minutes 23 seconds lead, which must make you almost unbeatable. What's going to be your policy today?
Well, I think we'll just go quite slowly on the rough stages and try and sort of quick on the open ones where the car's very good.
Tony, why are you running behind John Taylor on the roads now?
We had a lot of trouble. This is a very quiet car, and spectators were walking in the road. They can hear the escorts, but they can't hear this. And we had a very nasty moment at about 130 mile an hour when there was somebody actually walking down the road in the middle with their back towards us. And it's a bit frightening, really. It takes your confidence.
So you decided to let the noisier car go ahead, have you?
Yes, we did a deal with him. He was very kind and he went first.
John, you look very happy. The rally is almost over and you're in the lead. What are your feelings now?
Well, it's never over until it is over, but yeah, we're very pleased with the way things have gone so far.
And the car's running straight and true and no problems?
Yes, it's going okay at the moment. We're just going up there to have a look at it now.
What are you telling Tony to do for the rest of the rally?
I don't offer advice. He's the driver.
What's this going to mean to you if you win the Manx?
Quite a lot, really. You know, it's a very important result to carry through towards the end of the year, you know, for our expectations for next year.
And is the development of the new car going as well as you like?
Yes, very much so. You know, we're not at the end of our development by any means.
Tony Pond has given another superbly professional demonstration of how to win a rally at leisure. The Manx is a hard and fast event, much of it over difficult, undulating terrain. Yet Tony has merely driven as hard as is absolutely necessary, running at Mikkela's pace only as long as the fin lasted the course. Out of 39 special stages, Tony has been fastest on just 8, yet has won by a crushing 1 minute 59 seconds. This is a rally he's wanted to win for many years, and it's confirmation that the TR7 is now the car to beat on asphalt events.
Well, Tony, you've done it. Congratulations. How do you feel?
Great. Fantastic. As soon as I came across that last finishing line. It's never over till you sort of coast over that bit.
February 1979, a new year and new drivers in the Triumphs.
Think of the TR7, your first drive in it.
Yes, it's the first drive and it's the first time in the snow with this car.
How's it going to compare with the Saabs and things that you're more used to?
It's a big difference, but I cannot say no. It's the first time.
Who's going to be the main opposition, do you think, on this rally? Who's going to be the main ones to look out for?
I'm not sure. I think Stig been fast in so much snow in every state.
Swedish ace Per Eklund is teamed with new BL signing Graham Elsmore for the first round of the 1979 Sedan Products Open Rally Championship airfield stages. He's followed by Eklund, rapidly getting to grips with his new machine. And Graham Elsmore, Triumph's new British signing. First official service halt on the Mintex International. An Arctic twilight has already clamped its icy fingers on Helmsdale airfield, and competitors are bracing themselves for a night as treacherous as any witnessed on a British event in years. Fortunes have been mixed in the Triumph camp, with Elsmore dropping out of the top 10 following an excursion into the snow. But Eklund, despite only a short drive around a quarry and a blast up the motorway to Harrogate, is revelling in the conditions and the massive torque of his Triumph's V8 engine. Equipped with some of the latest narrow Dunlop snow tyres on 15-inch wheel rims, Eklund is finding the powerful car very much to his liking on the black ice and thick snow. Blomqvist's Saab on similar narrow tyres already leads the rally, but Eklund is second, and both Triumph cars are going well.
How's the car running?
Oh, it's been good, no problems.
How's the stages been?
Very good so far, but saying that, we had an off for 50 seconds on the last Cadwell stage, and which has dropped us down considerably. But nevertheless, I mean, the rally's only just started, and we hope to get it back later on in the event.
Where were you lying before this happened?
I don't really know, but I should imagine we were...
Tactful as ever, Graham Elsmore is nevertheless experiencing a miserable rally. For after spinning off at Cadwell Park and visiting a snowbank in Boltley the following morning, he's further delayed for 12 minutes by another car blocking the route in Langdale Forest. And that puts him completely out of the running. Herr Eklund, controlling his TR7 on the ice with tremendous verve, is in second place. He's experienced no problems on his first ever competitive outing in the car and has kept ahead of lesser mortals who've had a really strenuous night digging each other out of snowbanks. The lesson of the 1979 Mintex has been to run with the leaders, and this Graham Elsmore has been unable to do. Now he contents himself with the task of making it to the finish, taking the chance to gain some experience of the abnormal conditions, which to the British are so strange, but to the Scandinavians is just like being back home. And enthusiastically sideways, Eklund is busy staving off a challenge from young Henry Toivonen. Elsmore is still struggling gamely on. Eklund makes his second lap, now secure in second place. A fine result for Eklund and for Triumph. The sheet ice and packed snow of Yorkshire's forests have proved a salutary experience for most British competitors. But the special stage performance of the Triumphs gives rise to great optimism for the future. The tarmac rally car of 1978 now seems poised for loose surface laurels.
I've worked very, very hard for this rally, and year after year, so I'd better spend holidays abroad now rather than on the Isle of Man.
Fred, just as important, because without the navigator, Tony couldn't have got the job done. How do you feel?
Terrific, really. It's wonderful to win this rally.
At long last the car's come good.
I've always thought it would be good on tarmac. I've always said it, you know, and it's demonstrated that. I mean, it's gone quite easily. We haven't really been trying since about the first lap. So we had a good minute lead there, and it's still gone on putting up fastest time, so it must be the car, it's not me.